Hi, Sarah here with the layout process video for you today. This one is for Thompson's Craft Supplies. I will link below the Thompson's Craft Supplies shop. I'm using the Dazzle in the Darkness mixed media kit, as well as a few extra embellishments and goodies also from the shop. So to begin with, I took this 12 by 12 page which came in the kit, and I've just applied clear gesso over the entire piece because I wasn't sure at this point what I was going to add on top. So clear gesso obviously means that it makes the paper able to handle lots more water and inks and paint, etc. Sorry, there's my kitten again. It always gets into my room when I'm filming for some reason. So to begin with, I'm using these inks. These are actually from, I think it was a January kit maybe, and I'm just using this stamp here just to add those three colours onto the back of my page, and it does mostly just get covered up, to be honest, but I thought I'd leave it in anyway just so you could see what sort of effect I got doing this. So, you know, it's part of the process, so there it is. I also do just add a spritz of water and splash on some of the colour here and there, so obviously a little bit does peek through, but I do cover it up with the paints from this month's kit in the end. So next up, I'm using some texture paste. This is the Fabrica Decoru, I presume that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. And I'm just spreading this through a scripty font stencil here, and I do that all the way down the centre of the page. For this one I wanted to have all my embellishments straight down the middle. Now I'm taking the three paints from the kit. These go a really long way. They're really thick and they have a metallic sheeny finish to them. They blend really nicely together as well. So what you see me doing here, I don't keep the whole process in. I using up and down brush strokes so that it all is going in the same direction, if that makes sense. I just keep adding and layering up those colours until I've covered quite a lot of that centre third of the layout. Next, I've grabbed my photograph and I took a die and just cut out my photo into a circle that would fit nicely behind that woven piece there. And now I'm taking all the different shapes here. These are from the lace and the wooden pieces, and the circle are from Flirty Fleur. They came with the flowers that I'll be using later on, and the cogs are from the kit, and the black gesso is also from this month's kit as well. And I've just covered them all in black gesso and then I just let them dry. Now I'm going to work on actually piecing together my layout. I'm using this paper which was also in the kit, and just tearing it up, ruffling the edges with my scissors, and then applying some black soot ink all the way around the edge with an ink blending tool. And as you can see, it just helps it pop off the page because it's got that nice black outline around the edge. And now I'm doing the same thing as I did on the stamp background, because obviously I have covered most of that up. Apologies if you can hear a motorbike outside. And I'm just adding a bit of those colours which match really well with this month's paints anyway, and just adding that on top of the newsprint, as you can see here. Next up, I'm going to layer up my background. So I'm just taking, this is just foam. I'm running really low, hence how I'm just piecing it together. I want to leave a nice large gap around the edge so that if I want to, I've got room to tuck embellishments behind this panel, which is where I will be placing my photo on top of as well. And this foam just gives it a little bit of lift off the page so that it makes it stand out. And when I add in 3D embellishments, it means that my photo and my papers aren't going to sit back away from the focal point. It makes sure that it's all pretty much on a level. So I'm just adding some 3D gloss gel to stick this down, because I'm sticking it on top of texture paste, which doesn't stick well with just normal tape. I find that wet glues and gel especially works better on top of texture paste. And now I'm going to take the two wooden pieces and just add them in either side, and my photo will go on top. So again, I'm just adding some of this gel that does dry clear, and just adding them, tucking them behind on either side, making sure that they're in line with each other. And they look really pretty. They almost look like lace now that they've been coloured in that black colour. So now I'm going to add a little bit of texture again just behind my photo. So I'm just adding a few layers of cheesecloth, and my gloss gel just smooshes through and adds and just fixes them together. And then I've just added gloss gel and more pieces of foam for my photo, and then just gluing that down on top of the cheesecloth there, or gauze, depending what you call it. And now I've added it all the way around the bottom of this circle and just glued that down as well. I'm now taking all those cogs. I will go back and add colour to these afterwards. So for now I'm just scattering them, going up and down away from the photo. I also reduce the size of them towards the edge as well, so that there's more going on in the centre of my page than on the top and bottom edges. And I'm just adding the last couple around the edge of the photo. I've now got my art stones here, and I'm going to apply more of the gel, just adding it around the centre and more sparingly towards the bottom of the page. And once I've added this on, I go back and grab from each of the pots. First off, I sprinkle on the large art stones, then the medium sized ones, and finally I sprinkle on the tiny ones, which are more like, they're almost so small that they're more like sand, but they fill in all those gaps. And then I'm just going to tip off all the excess. And now I've just let the whole thing almost dry. Some of it's not quite, but it's dry enough for me to apply paint without it nudging around too much. And now I'm going to do the same thing as I did at the beginning with the metallic paints, and just add the colours one at a time, then going back through them over and over, just adding a bit more and a bit more. I also turn my page round to make sure that from all angles I've managed to get the paint into all underneath where it's all lifted up off the page, so that I get all around all the edges of the cogs, etc. as well. And I just go through each colour in turn. I also add some to the black frame as well as the circular frame around my photo as well. And I do this for quite a while. I have cut out a lot of this. It did take me quite a while to do this, hence why I didn't do the whole thing. And this is just me going around all the edges. I just turned it around and just touched up all the edges to make sure there was no like big gaps where I hadn't added any paint. And I think I'm almost done now. Yep, and that's all those done up, and a little bit of a close-up of how they look. They remind me of the sea, really, these like pearls or something. And now I'm doing a dry run of my flowers. I don't like to glue things straight down because I quite often will move things around. I added a little butterfly there as well. And I'm just scattering the flowers around, larger towards the centre and more of them, and then just a few further on the outside. And then using the gel again, I'm just going to apply a bit to the back of each one and add them all together in little clusters all around the edge of my page, well, around the edge of the centre of my page. And I don't think I make you watch all of this either, because it's pretty much doing the same thing over and over. I just use a tiny paintbrush to do this because I only need it in that centre, and it's very strong anyway, so I just put like a bit right in the middle of the flowers and just place them down and just smush them in place slightly, and then just let that dry. And then I turn it upside down to do the ones at the tops, just so I can see better what I'm doing and to make sure I don't have all the flowers going in the same direction. And now I'm just adding some of the art pebbles. These dry clear and show through whatever's behind them, so the metallic paint shines through on these ones, or a bit of the texture paste here and there. I also put one in the middle of one of them cogs at the bottom just because I thought it looked pretty, and I do just tuck them in so only parts of them show. And there's all sorts of sizes as well. They're all different sizes from tiny to quite large ones. And then I also add some of the Flirty Flirt gems sticker things as well. And now finally I'm just adding in this leaf ribbon that came in the kit also, and I'm using glue dots to stick down the leaves here and there to make sure that it follows around the edge how I want it to sit, and then other bits I just leave them loose so that it's not too structured and not too stuck down. And there's the kitten making an appearance again, and as you can see there, all that is just me sticking the glue dot down and then peeling the backing away so that it all sits nicely. And then I just think I trim it at the bottom. I add an extra flower at the bottom. I felt like it was a bit bare at the bottom. It does have one cog, but I thought it needed something else, so I do add an extra flower there as well. There we go, that's me doing that one. And then I add a teeny weeny title that just says Angel. On that side there was no cream, and I had this little embellishment that had Angel written on it, so I thought that balanced the colours out nicely as well. And this is my final step, which is just adding some watered down white acrylic paint and just adding some splashes here, there, all over the page, and I just covered my photo just to make sure there's no splashes actually on my little boy who's sleeping in this picture. Here's a bit of a close-up, and that is me done. So thanks for joining me today. If you haven't already and you would like to see more of my videos, then please do take the time to like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. And here's some close-ups at the end. So don't forget to check out Thompson's craft supplies. I believe there's still a couple of these kits left, as well as a couple of some of the older ones, but not many, and lots of new goodies in stock as well. So have a great day everyone. Bye.